your second touchdown?
You know, it was a decent pass. It was okay, you know. It was okay, you know.
Well, I was thinking he better catch it.
That was the beginning of the Miami Dolphins post-game presser, with none other than Tua Tagovailoa playing the role of reporter, asking Jalen Waddle about catching that touchdown pass. Despite a plague of penalties and a very, very lackluster performance by the defense in the first half, the Miami Dolphins rallied to pull out the win. Here's what Tua Tagovailoa had to say after the game.
I think Mike did a great job calling plays today. He put us in really good position to get yards after catch on plays, trying to move the spot for the defenders.
Once again, by moving the spot, keeping Tua on the move, making it hard for the defense to track Tua, allowed Tua to have a remarkable game against the Detroit Lions. Tua Tagovailoa was 29 for 36 for 382 yards and 3 touchdowns with no interceptions. In the 2 games since he's been back from his injury, Tua has gone 50 for 71 for 643 yards and 4 touchdowns without a single interception. Don't tell me that Tua Tagovailoa is not QB1 and is not balling out this year.
Well, we feel like the only guys that can stop us is ourselves.
I say it in every game, on every live broadcast, don't beat yourselves. We are seeing it week after week. For the most part, this team is unmatched in talent by most of its opponents. But the Dolphins keep finding a way to keep these opponents in the game with their miscues. This week, it was a rash of penalties. Good teams, good championship teams don't have these kind of penalties. You just simply cannot beat yourself.
As you can tell, I'm not a runner. But with that block, if anyone else was running behind Alec, could have been a lot bigger, could have been a score, who knows. But knowing me, Alec blocks the guy and almost pancakes him, and I run right into the guy for the tackle. So if it was any other person, probably would have been a lot bigger. Oh yeah, slid today. I know my coaches, my teammates, my teammates are definitely proud of me. Came to the sideline, everyone was happy that I slid. I was kind of happy that I slid too.
Trust me, we're all happy you slid as well. During my live broadcast, I actually couldn't speak when I saw him take off on that long run. I literally gasped. So yes, Tua, please keep sliding. Oh, and by the way, Mike McDaniel, you need to give Alec Ingold a game ball. Yes, he scored that touchdown, but he was also blocking his ass off all game long.
It gets to a point in the game where the full play call isn't called, and so I got to kind of ad-lib at times. So, I kind of put our guys in a bad situation, knowing where to line up on plays and whatnot, and not really giving them time to think before they're going out because of how fast I'm getting the play call out. So, that's why we have practice, and it'll be good for us to work on that throughout this week.
McDaniel needs to get this fixed as soon as possible. We're 8 games in, and we're still making these kinds of mistakes. I can't believe 8 games into the season, he's still having a problem communicating with Tua and getting the plays called. That's nuts, and it's unacceptable. It's scary that the Miami Dolphins are 5-3 and are still misfiring this much. Think about that.
The one I really liked, I would say, was Trent Sherfield's. I think they took away his touchdown. I think they took that one away. Do we agree?
Yes, Tua, we 100% agree. Why was there no challenge on that play? Somebody upstairs in the booth completely blew that. They should have immediately told Mike McDaniel to throw the red flag and challenge that call. No excuse whatsoever.
And that starts with me, being the leader of this, young receiver group, preaching to the guys that we got to get in and out of the huddle faster. We got to do the small things right. We all want to make plays. We all want to, be in the spotlight, but we got to make sure that we do, the small things by getting out of the huddle, making sure that we're set so Tua can go through all of his reads. So once we, get that clear, we start working on those small things, I feel like we'll be exactly where we want to be.
Can I first say that there's never been, at least I've never seen, a wide receiver jacked the way that Tyreek Hill looks. I mean, dude is swole. As to what he just said, Tyreek said they're 8 games into this season and they're still learning. Think about how scary that must be for other opponents to understand that these guys are just getting their legs under them. Tyreek Hill goes for 12 catches for 188 yards, and Jalen Waddle goes for 8 catches for 106. And he says they're still learning. Let that sink in.
I'm going to work my tail off regardless, so I'm not surprised at all, dog. I can see if I was, not putting in the work, not doing everything that I wasn't supposed to do, but my mindset is different, dog. My grandparents, they raised a different breed, so I feel like I got to use these God-given talents, or I wouldn't be doing, God the diligence for giving me what He's gifted me with. So every chance I get out, every chance I get to step on the field, even if it's practice, walk through, whatever the case, I'm going 110 miles per hour.
Just looking at Tyreek, you can see he's a different breed of wide receiver, and like Tua, he's also driven by his faith. I've been asked by people in my comments, I've had some people unsubscribe because I talk about Christianity and what it means to these players, and people want me to stop bringing it up. How do you stop bringing that up when faith is such an integral part of these players' mindset? Is this why the media and the NFL seems to hate the Miami Dolphins? Their disdain for the Miami Dolphins and Tua, and probably Tyreek at this point, can't be performance-based. And obviously from the comments that I get, their faith, their open declaration of faith is making some people feel uncomfortable. I have one thing to say about that. Get over yourselves.
Yeah, I think there was 8 declined in the first half. Well, there's certain controllables. And the ones that really irritate me, we knew coming into the game that we have to be mindful of our pre-snap alignment. Just knowing that, we've been, people are looking to throw penalties on that. I think around the league in general. And so we went in making that a point, and it didn't get done. Those type of things are controllable. Then you look at, where and what type of penalties are happening. Same thing that we did, I think, was it the Minnesota game? We had a ton, and we were able to tighten it up against Pittsburgh. You just have to make a point of emphasis, take each penalty individually, and coach off of it so that we can improve and not put ourselves in such tough spots on both sides of the ball unnecessarily.
Wait, did Mike McDaniel just suggest that this is an intentional plan for the NFL to call more penalties? Are the same calls being made throughout the league? I haven't seen. I guess I'm going to have to check the data. But this is nuts. But if that is the case, then Mike McDaniel, it's on you. Deal with it. There's absolutely no reason, none, zero. There is no reason for a player to line up offsides. Perhaps somebody may jump the cadence, the quarterback may pull him across, but there's no reason, absolutely none, for a player to line up offsides. Period. End of story. This one's on you, Mike.
We've been doing a better job at that. Just me personally, I've done a better job of getting the play calls in sooner, so that if there's any hiccups, that isn't the case. This game, I think there was a couple instances where I didn't get it in fast enough, so there's not time to repeat it. But I thought Tua did a really good job of knowing the game plan and piecing the stuff together, because we didn't have, I can't remember a situation where we had an issue with running the correct play, but there was a couple stressful situations, and that was happening at the beginning of the year, and so that's on me to make sure that that's completely minimized, so the players have time to absorb the play call.
We can all see that there's an obvious communication issue with the plays getting into Tua. Tua spoke about that earlier as well. What is it? What's causing it? Why are the reporters not asking that question? No reporter asked. Not a single one followed up and said, okay, so you're having a problem with communication. Why? What is causing the delay of you getting the play called and into Tua's helmet?
Now that, my friends, is a good question.
A reporter asked Mike McDaniel an interesting question today, And the answer kind of blew me away. But here's the question. How much credit for today's win goes to the fact that the Dolphins were able to win tight games in weeks 2, 3, and 7?
That's exactly what it is. I don't think you win this game if you don't go through stuff. And that's why I believe, and I think our team believes at this point, that there's no such thing as like adversity, more that it's opportunity to learn from a situation so that you can progress moving forward. I don't think the goal of any game is really perfection. It's more growth. And I think this game we were able to come out with a victory because of certain things that we've gone through in the past weeks. So absolutely right. It's exactly the way I see it. And somebody give that guy a gold star. That was a great question.
Mike McDaniel is convinced, he fully believes, and now he's got the team believing that adversity doesn't exist. It's only an opportunity for long-term growth. I have to believe that Mike McDaniel is not intentionally putting the team in adverse situations. But could it be that his coaching philosophy is to mold a culture within the Miami Dolphins where they accept adversity, don't even worry about it, and understand it is a catalyst for moving forward. It is a catalyst for long-term growth. If this is true, Mike McDaniel is playing the long game, and it tells me that Chris Greer and Stephen Ross have bought into it as well. And if it's true, you can put money on what I'm about to say. Tua Tagovailoa will be re-signed after this year, regardless of the final record of this season. Mike McDaniel is playing the long game. Tua is his quarterback. You can hear when Tua talks, he's bought in fully into Mike McDaniel's philosophy, as well as Tyreek, and we're seeing a lot more players actually understand this is what this guy wants to do long term. This coach is looking way beyond 2022. He wants players around him who buy into his ideology. Players that don't believe it, that don't buy in, won't be on this roster next year. You're going to see him make some moves possibly with the trading deadline, but anybody he brings in has to understand his ideology. I've never seen a coach with this kind of mindset. It's really interesting to watch, and I kind of like it. Lastly, can you believe that no one, not a single reporter, asked him why he didn't make the challenge on Sherfield's obvious touchdown? Was that a coaching mistake, as we all thought it was, because it was so obvious? Or was that another lesson of adversity actually being an opportunity? He never questioned that play. He let it go and made the team get out there and perform and score that touchdown. Is this guy playing some sort of Vulcan mind games? I don't know, but it was pretty obvious that he didn't challenge that play when everybody else watching, including myself, knew that was a touchdown. Who knows? Let me know what you think. What do you think about Mike McDaniel's philosophy of adversity being an opportunity for long-term growth? And if you'd like to see any of my other Miami Dolphins videos, there's going to be a couple right here for you to click on. Talk to you soon. Fins up.
Is anybody catching on to this Barry guy?